Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Cody's Footy World, and welcome back to another NRL tipping video. My name is Cody. Hope you guys are doing very well on this lovely Tuesday evening, 5:30 p.m., the 19th of August, 2025. This week is round 25. We are only 3 weeks away until the finals is upon us. I can't believe that this year has gone so fast, so quick, and we've had a lot of entertaining games, we've had a lot of stinker games, and it just been some quality games in between as well. But anyways, before we get into the tips, guys, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here as well, and don't forget to click that bell so you get notified when a video gets posted. Now, last week was a miserable round for tipping. Unfortunately, I managed to only get 3 out of 8 correct. Was a bit tough. Some games were 50-50. Like Melbourne, Penrith, Dogs, Roosters could have been 50-50, but that was a different level, honestly. And Rabbits, Eels, Tigers, not Tigers, Cowboys, Knights, they were both 50-50 games as well, which that didn't really go in favour of either. Unless you got a perfect round, which that would be incredible. But anyways, we're here for round 25. 3 weeks to go. 2 rounds left for my team, obviously, which we'll get into just a second. But anyways, without further ado, guys, let's get into the round 25 tips. And our first game, we kick off on Thursday night, kicking off at 7:50 p.m. from a core stadium. We have my boys, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, taking on the St George Illawarra Dragons. Now, last week, the Dragons went down to the Warriors at Mount Smart, losing 14 points to 10, and unfortunately, they have lost 3 key forwards in their side last week, all due to HIA, or due to nasty head clashes. So unfortunately, all 3 of them, Hame Saleh, Hamish Stewart, and Jack DeBellin, will all miss this game. Very unfortunate for the Dragons. And for the Rabbitohs, good win over the Eels. There on Saturday night at Allianz, winning 20 points to 16. A lot of heart, dignity, and determination, and a lot of pride shown in that team. With a lot of injuries we've had out this year, and Jai Gray, man, Eels on another level, and Palace Duncan getting a double to claim the Eric Sims medal as well. Very phenomenal. Fortunately, AJ didn't score, but that's okay though. We've still got 2 more games for AJ to break the record this year. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into the team lists for this week. And we'll start with my boys first. So, huge boost. Keon Kolmatungi is named to return, which it would be feared he would miss the rest of the season, but he's come back quickly, which I'm quite happy with. Which means Tallis Duncan has been named to start at centre after filling in last week because Bailey Bentley-Harpe went off with a concussion, so he'll miss this week. Lachlan Hubner returns from a concussion. So Jai Arrow moves back into the second row. Cody Walker and Brendan Smith will start on the bench once again, alongside Peter Momazoulis and Thomas Fletcher. Latrell Mitchell still remains sidelined with back injury. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the last game against the Roosters. And as for the Dragons, with Hamish Stewart, Jack DeBellin, and Hame Saleh all out for this game, Dragons have added Jacob, Gahu, and Ben Murdoch-Mazilla to the starting back row, while Blake Laurie joins the bench. The other new face on the bench is Tyrell Sloan, who was 18th man last week. I guess you can say this game could go either way, really. But both teams have really been hampered with injuries, especially the Dragons in the last few weeks. Rabbits have been constantly all year, but at least we've got some star power back. And for this one, I reckon just Rabbitohs, without being biased, of course, reckon the Rabbitohs go out, and I'm confident we will get the job done. So Rabbitohs to win 1-12. We will go the Rabbitohs to win by 8. I'm predicting a high-scoring game, so let's go 32-24. We will go the Rabbitohs' first try scorer. We're going to go Ashton Ward to score first. Anytime try scorers, we will go Jai Arrow and Alex Johnson to bag the double. And for the Dragons, we'll go Christian Tupolatu and we'll go Clint Gutherson as well. So the Bunnies to win in this one, 1-12. And it says on here that Dragons have not named a number 22. So it shows you how many that injury side is for the Dragons. But anyways, Rabbitohs to win. Let's go, boys. And of course, I will be there as well. Now we move into arguably one of the best Friday night fixtures we have ever seen in such a long time for not just one game, but for two games. Excuse me. The first game kicking off at 6 p.m. from Glen Willow Oval up in Mudgee. We have the Penrith Panthers against the current first place and potential minor premiers, the Canberra Raiders. Now, the Raiders had their third and final bye last week, the week before, beating Manly at GIO, winning 28 points to 12. And as for the Panthers, Penrith's nine-game winning streak, I should say, came to an end in the hands of the Melbourne Storm, winning 22-18. Nathan Cleary getting a field goal to make it 18-all and went to Golden Point. And Harry Grant, why he's one of the best hookers in recent years, going over and winning that Golden Point try, winning 22-18 to the Storm. And now Panthers are out of the top four after getting into the top four the week before. Let's go for the team list for both teams. So for the Panthers first, Isaiah Yeo looks to set to return after being named in the extended squads. Paul Olamoti is again an eighth man. And as for the Raiders, they've gone with the same 17. 5'8" Ethan Strange will look to continue his hot streak as he has netted 8 tries in his last 9 games. Very amazing. Raiders have been incredible this year. I reckon if they win this game, they get the minor premiership. But we'll see what happens. But for this game, this one's going to be a juicy game to watch. This game's going to be quite hard to tip as well. In fact, the first 3 games, really, it's going to be, or maybe the first 2, I should say, going to be the hardest to pick in the last game as well. But for this one, I'm going to go to Raiders. I reckon I'm going to take the risky, and I reckon Raiders going to beat the Panthers. I reckon the Raiders will prove why they are the best team in the comp right now. So we're going to go to the Raiders to win by 6. We'll go 26-20 scoreline. First try scorer comes from Penrith. We will go Brian Toppo to score first. And anytime try scorers, we'll go Dylan Edwards. And for the Raiders, we'll go Ethan Strange. Why not to continue that try streak as well? So Raiders to win, 1-12. Now we move into our final Friday night game. The first kicking off at 8 p.m. from Amy Park down there in Melbourne. We had the Melbourne Storm against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Now, last Thursday, the Storm ended the Panthers' winning streak, winning 22-18 in Golden Point in courtesy of a Harry Grant try. And as for the Bulldogs, they were flogged by Manly. Flogged by the Roosters, 32-12. Really exposed of what they were in that game last week. Just shows you they are pretenders pretty much. They've done well against bigger teams, or better teams, I should say, but will lose to the Roosters of all teams? Really? 32-12. What a disgrace for the Dogs, honestly. And I don't think they'll win it this year. But anyways, let's go through the team list for both teams. So for the Storm, Ryan Paffenhauser has been named the extended squad. He looks to return from a concussion. So Cameron Munster is listed at fullback for the time being. Sean Bloor will miss the game. So Joe Chance starts in the back row. And Bronson Garlick joins the bench. Nelson Solomona, after 2 games with the Sunshine Coast Falcons, is listed in the reserves as well. And as for the Bulldogs, no changes to the side that lost last week. Back row Stewie Tupanua and winger Monsey Montoya are both in the frame for a call-up later in the week after missing 4 games and 6 games respectively with a neck in a hamstring injury as well. Melbourne to win this one, honestly. Even though it's shaping up to be a good game, I reckon Melbourne win this one. No, Melbourne have been consistent, but I'm going to predict Melbourne to win 13+. Melbourne to win by 14. Scoreline, we will go 32-18. First try scorer, we will go. Let's go Xavier Coates to score first. And for anytime try scorers, we will go Samuel Hughes from the Dogs. And for Melbourne, we'll go Harry Grant for another try as well. Why not? Melbourne to win 13+. Now we move into our first of 3 Super Saturday games. The first one kicking off at 3 p.m. from Four Pines Park at Brookie. This game has major implications of which team will be fighting for the top 8, or that the winner can make it. We have 10th versus 9th. The Manly Sea Eagles against the Dolphins. Now, last week's games, Dolphins went down to the Broncos at Suncorp, losing in a high-scoring, thrilling game, 38-28. A lot of lead changes in that game as well. And as for Manly, well, they were disappointing against the Tigers, scoring the first try, and then Matthew Lodge scoring the last try in the 79th minute to lose 26-12 to the Tigers at Allianz Stadium last week. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up Manly's season there. But if they lose this game, then they're done for the year. Now let's go for the team list for both teams, starting with Manly first. Ruben Garrick is currently has a shoulder injury, so Tommy Talau will start in the starting side, and Aaron Schropp has been added to the bench. Jake Tofojevic remains sidelined after suffering concussion and may be rested for the remainder of the season. Michael Cheekham is the new 18th man. And as for the Dolphins, Felice Kafusi and Francis Molo return from suspension to bolster the pack, so Mark Nichols reverts to the bench, and Ublix Talha drops to the reserves. Max Figo returns from a shoulder injury, which sees the Hammer goes to fullback, and Trey Fuller slides into the bench. Ray Stone is the 18th man. This is really a tough game to call as well. Manly have lost 4 in a row, which that's something we haven't heard, but gee whiz. And Dolphins, well, they were flopped by the Roosters 2 weeks ago, and they were close to beating Broncos last week, who had both their key star halves out. But I reckon for this game, the Dolphins go out and win this one and still try to fight for the top 8. And as for Manly, I think their top 8 fighting chances end in this game. So we're going to go to Dolphins to win in this one, 1-12. Dolphins to win by 8. First try scorer, we're going to go from Manly. We'll go Tuakolotu to score first, or Tolkola, sorry. And for anytime try scorers, we will go to Hammer, and we'll also go Corey Waddell to score for Manly. So Dolphins to win, 1-12. And now we move into our second game of Super Saturday, kicking off at 5:30 p.m. We have the Gold Coast Titans against the New Zealand Warriors from Cbus Super Stadium. And these two had clashed not too long ago as well. And the Titans went on to win 24-16 as well. Warriors have not been good against Titans in recent times. Let's go through last week's result for both teams. Now, last week, the Warriors finally snapping their losing streak, winning 14-10 over the Dragons at home. And as for the Titans, getting flogged by the Sharks, losing 54-22. And that's the first time in rugby league history that we've seen a 54-22 scoreline. So that was a surprising stat that came out of that game as well. So Titans finally could say 50. I think that's the first time they could say 50 this year. Well, and they're still in last at the moment. Them and the Knights are fighting to see who gets the spoon this year. But anyways, let's go through the team list. For the Titans, Brian Kelly and Jojo Fifita back on deck, so Bo Thermal returns to the back row and Philip Sami slides into the wing. Josh Padston goes to the bench while Regan Campbell-Gillard starts a prop with Jamlin Jolov out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. David Fifita is also out for the rest of the year. No surprise there. Khalees Haas comes onto the bench after missing the Sharks game for personal reasons. And for the Warriors, Kurt Capewell, Tadare Martin, and Rocco Berry are all back on deck. Berry's returns seeing K go back to fullback and Tane to a picky as 18th man, while Lakia Halasima goes to the bench to make way for Campbell. Jackson Ford banned until the finals. Dimitri Mulga will start at prop. Now, obviously, the Warriors don't have the best record against the Titans, and we saw that a few weeks ago. But despite the stats being against the Warriors, I'm going to go to Warriors and win in this one, honestly. I can't really see Titans winning another game. I know they've been doing good other than last week, obviously, but that result last week just pretty much killed it and pretty much guaranteed they're going to get the spoon for the last 3 games, or the Newcastle Knights. We'll see when we get to their game next. So we're going to go to Warriors to win this one and snap that losing streak against the Titans. We'll go to Warriors to win by 12. We'll go 26-14 scoreline. First try scorer comes from the Titans. I reckon Jojo Fafita goes over for the Titans first, and anytime try scorers, AJ Brimson. And we'll also go DWZ from the Warriors to score. So Warriors to win 1-12. And now we move into our final Super Saturday game, kicking off at 7:35 p.m. from Combank Stadium. We have the Parramatta Eels against the Sydney Roosters. Roosters last week beating the Bulldogs at Allianz, winning 32-12. And as for the Eels, losing to my boys also at Allianz Stadium, 20 points at 16. Mitchell Moses complaining a lot, and through a captain's challenge early on in the game, which cemented their loss. They took an 8-point lead against us, and they lost. Zach Lomax did score a try in the corner before, but he missed the conversion in the last 10 minutes. Were one of the best displays I've seen from either teams, for both either teams in that game, which that was amazing to see. But let's go for a team list for both teams. Isaiah Alongi has been named to start at fullback after there was a late inclusion from a hand injury last week. Jose Pupley lines up at 5'8". Luke Morody is out, so Dylan Walker starts like a Jordan Samarani joins the bench. And as for the Roosters, Junior Tupou comes onto the wing for his first NRL games. The Rooster with Daniel Tupou suffering concussion syndromes after last week's game. Ooh, okay, that's a massive blow there. Another Tupou, but Junior Tupou instead of Daniel Tupou. Two-way wrong returns from concussion, so Niphil White moves the prop, and Spencer Linier to the bench. Blake Steep makes way. For this game, haven't tipped them much this year. Roosters to win, 13+. Roosters to win by 16. We'll go to Roosters to win 28-12. First try scorer comes from Para. We will see, I reckon Riley Swift goes over for the first try, and anytime try scorers, Josh Adokar, and we'll go Robert Toy from the Roosters as well. Roosters to win, 13+. Now we move into our Sunday ticket games. First one kicking off from 2 p.m. at McDonald Jones Stadium. I was about to say, so I'm caught by accident. We have the Newcastle Knights against the Brisbane Broncos. Last week, the Broncos putting on a really good game against the Dolphins, winning 38-28 in a high-scoring affair. That's for the Knights. Knights flogged 38-4, getting their only try within the last few minutes of the game. Knights or Titans fighting for that spoon now. I don't care who gets it. Their points differential is very similar. But they were terrible against the Cowboys last week. Let's go through the team list for both teams. Phoenix Crossland has been named starter hooker in his return game from concussion. Jane Bailey goes to the bench. Matt Arthur drops out. Brody Jones has been replaced on the bench by Elijah Sassily Lou Morona, who lines up for his 5th career game. But a one change for the Broncos. Jack Karowski suffered a shoulder injury, replacing by Jaden Hunt. The new face on the bench is Jesse Arthurs. Broncos 13+. Broncos to win by 30. We will go 42-12. First try scorer, to my dismay, will go to the Knights. Dan Gagai goes first. Anytime try scorers, Dominic Young, and will also go Kitoni Staggs as well. Broncos to win, 13+. And now we move into our final game of round 25 and Sunday ticket as well. From Leichhardt Oval, the final time the Tigers will play there this year. We have 4:05 kickoff. This is pretty much an interstate rivalry game. We have the West Tigers against the North Queensland Cowboys. Last Sunday, the Cowboys putting on a clinical display against the Knights, winning 38-4 at home. And that's for the Tigers, winning at Allianz against the Sea Eagles, winning 26-12. Now they have won 2 in a row games. Can they go 3 in a row? They haven't done that in quite a few years. Let's see if that will happen this week. Let's go for the team list for both teams. So no changes for Benji Marshall's side. Stafford Toa has been named to start to play despite coming off early with a shoulder issue. And that's for the Cowboys. Same 17, they got the job done against the Knights. Kyle O'Donnell is listed as 18th man, while Marley by Tongi, Nicholas Lesnar, and Caden Haas are among, Lars, I meant to say, sorry, are among the reserves. This game is going to be interesting. These two have had a lot of beef, especially over the last couple of years, particularly in 2023 and then last year as well. 2023, West Tigers won 66 points to 18 at Leichhardt against the Cowboys. And then the game after that, Warwick, the third biggest winning margin in history. Cowboys won 74-0 against the Tigers up at QCB 2 years ago. And then last year, I was in attendance for this game at Leichhardt Oval, funny enough, as well. Cowboys winning in a high-scoring game, 48 points to 30 against the Tigers at Leichhardt last year. These two teams do not like each other, and this rivalry's been brewing at least for the last couple of years. I could see either team winning this one, but Tigers are on a different level at the moment. They're not getting the spoon this year. They may avoid the bottom four, and they still have a small chance of making the top 8. They have not made the top 8 in 14 years and counting at the moment. Can they win this game? You bet your ass they will. I'm going to go to Tigers to win this one by 1-12. Tigers to win by 10. 36-26 scoreline, so a high-scoring game. We will go to first try scorer to the Cowboys, however. Semi Valme goes over first. And anytime try scorers, I reckon we will go Gerald Skelton from the Tigers, and for the Cowboys, Scott Drinkwater goes over for anytime try. So we'll go to West Tigers to win this one, 1-12. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up my 2025 round 25 tips of the NRL season. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for you guys when you're around here, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you don't miss out when a video gets posted or when I go live on YouTube. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Good luck to your tips this week. Good luck to your teams this week, and except the Dragons, of course. I will be attending Thursday night's game. Looks like it's going to be a really very wet affair as well. So, not the best for conditions, but I've been through worse with wet weather before. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. See you all in the next one.